morning and welcome back to UCapital 24. This is our special dedicated to key players in the financial world, and today we are happy to have a very special guest, Timothy Furey, CEO of Tradeview, one of the most innovative and important trading platform globally. Timothy, it's a pleasure to have you here with us. Thank you for joining us.
All right, thank you for having me.
So let's dive into our question. You start as a trader in the 90s, first to Merrill Lynch and then to Chicago Board of Trade, and then you founded your own company. So you have been in the business for many years and you have seen many aspects of from different perspectives. How investor approach change with new technologies, and how does Tradeview support the evolution with financial education and trading strategies?
Okay, there's a couple parts to that question. I'll tell you, yeah, I started in the 90s after I graduated college, after I graduated university. I had the opportunity as a commodity broker. I became good at it and had an opportunity to work with Merrill Lynch Futures Division. I was the youngest guy they hired in 20 years, and it was a closed group of like 50 specialists in commodities. What was great about the experience was I was working with old timers, right? Guys that they're older, they'd be done by noon and they had nothing else to do but teach me what they knew. So it was just a great experience to learn about commodities and fast-paced moving markets. So with that experience, I always my dream was always to become a trader at the Chicago Board of Trade. You know, the open outcry pits where you're yelling and screaming and trading. And you know, this idea came when you're watching the movies, right? In the 1980s, 1990s, like Wall Street. You see everybody on the floor yelling and screaming, and I always wanted to do that. I had the opportunity at some time during my Merrill Lynch days to move to Chicago and become a trader on the floor. So I did that, and that's where I really learned the aspects, the parts about trading, you know, like when orders come down to the floor and when you're yelling and screaming, you're buying and selling all day. I learned about order flow and how the markets really worked. Technology started to advance a lot more in the late 1990s, and you know, the threat was to go electronic. So I wanted to get ahead of that, and plus it was a little too cold in Chicago for me. So I moved to Florida and worked for a hedge fund. It was like a proprietary trading company. So they hired you to trade their money and you had to follow their rules. The better you were, the more money they gave you to manage. You know, at one point I was managing quite a bit of money for the company, and that's where I really learned how to make money in the markets trading on exchange stocks. Great experience. I walked in the shoes of many traders that are trying to learn, like the people out there in the audience. I understand, you know, what they're looking for, and you know, back then, you know, we had to call in our orders or we had to be in a pit to make a trade. Now, all you need is a phone and an app. You open it up and you can do your trade and hide behind your computer all day if you want, you know? So a lot's changed over the past 20, 30 years in the trading and trading technologies.
Yes, a lot. And we know you are half Italian.
Yes.
So what do you think about the Italian market and Italian business?
Yeah. Growing up, my favorite side of the family and the fun side was the Italian side, because we get together on Sundays. We have the long lunch and dinner, and my passion is to come visit Italy and see some old family members and find reasons to come visit. So yeah, today we're here in Milan. With my team and meeting great people like yourself. And you know, we are regulated throughout the EU. Italy is one of our places where we do business. It's one of my favorite places because I like to come here for many reasons.
Yeah, and coming back to financial topic, what are the secrets for building trust in financial market?
Yeah, see that's a good question. We have a different way of doing it. My belief is you got to go out and shake hands, get to know clients on a deeper level. Where other CEOs of companies, they stick them in a corner office and they're pointing fingers all day and spending more money on marketing and putting out a message. The message we want to bring is, what I do is I travel 6 months out of the year and I go shake our partners' hands, money managers, clients. I should go out and shake their hands. I get to meet them, get to know them on a more of a personal level. Also, our office, the story of Tradeview. Did you want to hear that?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess before this interview, we were talking about the story of Tradeview. What happened was, after Merrill, after the trading floors, after working for the hedge fund, right? I moved back to New York City and worked in Forex, right? It was like the hot new thing in 2000, where you could trade currencies online, through your computer. And I got involved with the company. I did very well with them. And it was like kind of like a startup. And I helped them go from zero to hero in a short amount of time. I wasn't treated fairly. And I had that discussion one day on the phone with the owners. And they said, hey, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do, Furey? Like, they were daring me. And since they dared me, I got upset. I got mad. Because I got upset, I left and started Tradeview. And we started with 4 guys in an office in Wall Street. And got regulated in different areas over the years. We started with 4 guys, went to 10 guys, eventually 20. Then we got a marketing team, built websites. We took the company from nothing to something where today we have over 240, I call them coworkers, around the world. We have multiple offices around the world. We're licensed in different countries all over the world. And it's become, I guess, it's become a nice company. Yeah.
Compliments.
Thank you.
So what advice would you give to new trader looking to enter in the market today?
Yeah. All right. So, I walked in the shoes of the traders, right? I know what they want, right? They want to learn the markets. For me to learn, I had to, go to the commodity pits in Chicago and work for the companies. But now the data is right there on the internet, right? What the younger generation is getting is they can just go on the internet, and they're data driven. They can find out about the markets just by going on a financial website. They can read online courses about trading, right? There's so many ways to gain that knowledge, and it's very easy to access, to get that information now than it was back, in my early days. So it's data driven. Now, the great thing is trading has become, I'd say, easy to access because you can just download an app on your phone and you can practice on a demo account that's live market conditions. Use practice money, you're not going to lose your money, and you learn from there. And then eventually you get a little bit more confident. You start out with a small account, maybe a couple of $1,000, and practice from there. Yeah.
Yeah, and what do you believe is the biggest challenge for investor?
Okay, well, what I've seen is there's 2 types of investors, right? The people that want to trade long term in the hopes to grow their equity, right? And then there's the people that want to take their ordinary lives and make it a little bit more extraordinary. So, think about it. It's crazy. Are they trading to make money? Not necessarily. It's something to do, right, with the ordinary lives. Let's say you have a couple $1,000s in the account. You get your phone out and you put a trade on, right? It's kind of exciting because, maybe it's a gold, you put on gold trade, right? And then next thing you know, you read in the news about gold and this big market move in gold and you just happen to be in it. That's fun, it's exciting, right? What about, you go home at night, right? You have dinner and you're a little bored after dinner. You open up your phone, open the app and see where your position is. Did you get stopped out or is it making money? The markets trade 24 hours now.
Yeah.
All week. So, even when you're sleeping, if you wake up at night, sometimes, even me, I open up my app and see where the markets are, right? Well, I got to do it because I own a brokerage, right? It never turns off for me. But imagine waking up in the morning, right? The first thing people do before they brush their teeth is turn on their app and they want to see where their positions are, if they're up money or down money. So it takes, the ordinary makes it extraordinary and it's become exciting for people to trade, right? Is that the reason you should trade? Who knows? But, you trade to, in the hopes to make money, right? But what I've been finding out is people trade to take their ordinary life to make it a little bit more extraordinary, win or lose.
Have you some day off sometimes? Or
Do I have days off? Yeah. Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern time,
okay.
which is 11 p.m. here in Italy. But the great thing, I have Saturdays off, and then Sunday, if I lived here in Italy, the markets don't open up until 11 p.m. Sunday night,
Yeah, and then Asia.
Yes.
And then Europe and then America is like turnover.
Yeah. So there's always something to do when you trade, 5.5 days a week, starting Sunday night to Friday night. Yeah.
Thank you, Timothy, for sharing with us your experience. I hope to have you here in Italy and in UCapital as soon as possible.
Yes, correct. Me too. Ciao. All right. So ciao, everybody. Yeah.
Ciao a tutti. Thank you very much. See you soon here in UCapital 24.